Welcome back, family, to part 2 of the Mother's Day meal collab with these two beautiful ladies, Lisa D Delights and Mama T Speaks. So we are making the side dish item today. My side dish item, you guys, is a Cajun seafood rice. So if you want to see how I make it, keep watching. This is all the ingredients that I am using in this dish today, and I will make sure and list them below for you guys. Okay, you guys, stick with me here because it's going to be moving a little quickly. So I'm cutting up some of my veggies, and the sausage that I have is some andouille sausage, and that small piece is some leftover kielbasa that I had. So I'm like, okay, I don't want it to go to waste, girl, so we're going to throw her in there too. But you can use whatever you want. As far as peppers and onions, it's totally up to you. But what we're going to do first is saute this down. So we're going to use some that same cooking grease, that cooking oil that I was frying up them ribs with. I'm just going to saute my vegetables and my sausage in that grease. You don't have to use grease if you want. You can use olive oil, butter, whatever. Just something to, saute the vegetables down in and get them tender, because we're going to make us a bomb broth, honey. Yes, that broth got to be popping if you want flavor. Okay, now let me slow it down so we can get this right for the mamas. After the veggies and sausage have sauteed down really good, we're going to start on the broth. So we're going to add the chicken broth, and we're going to start seasoning, okay? Everybody calm down. Don't fret. All the seasonings I use, I will list them below, okay? Now, the amount that goes in is going to be totally up to you. But still, don't worry, because the rule of thumb is always you can add, but you cannot take away. So add a little bit of all the seasonings, then you taste it. If for some reason it's a little bit overpowering for you, then you can add a little bit of water to kind of thin it out and, take some of the seasoning, like dilute it. That's the word. Dilute it. Now, if it's not enough, then you can go back and put what you think it needs. So that's all. Always add. You can never take away. Remember that. And guys, do not skip the step of adding this brown sugar in, because we are using a lot of Cajun and spicy seasonings. This brown sugar is going to balance it out very good. So after letting this simmer, because you have to let everything kind of simmer so it can marry together and all the flavors can combine, now you want to taste it to see if you have to add anything or alter it in any way, because this is what we're going to pour over our rice. Yes, you guys, I said this is going to pour over the rice, because this rice is actually going into the oven, and this is parboiled rice, and that rice is best to use because it separates really nicely. And also, I almost forgot to tell y'all about the paprika, and of course I'm just using that for the color. Now, baby, look at here. Let me tell you something. This right here, look at that goodness. This ain't nothing but flavor. Look at that. Now, y'all gonna learn how to listen to me one day. Make this recipe. This big pan can feed a whole family. Too many people. More than a family. So y'all don't need to be taking mama out there to them restaurants when y'all can save money and make this and feed more people. Trust when I tell you. That's all. So I went ahead and covered the rice with some foil and put it in the oven. It's on 375, and we're just going to let her hang out in there and do its thing while we get our seafood prep. So I'm cutting the shrimp into halves and into threes, and I think I left some whole just to have a variety off up in there. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to season the shrimp and only saute it for a little second, just until it turns pink. We don't want it to cook all the way through because we're going to be putting it in the rice at the ending. We don't want to put the shrimp in the rice too soon at the beginning because shrimp takes like a millisecond to cook. And we don't want rubbery overdone shrimp. So that's why we putting her in at the end along with the crab meat, okay? So we're going to saute her up in some butter. Let that sit aside until the rice is almost done. Okay, so this is the rice. It's basically done. So we're just going to stir it up, mix it around, because now we're going to be adding in our shrimp and our crab meat. And I also sauteed, y'all, this crab meat, honey. This is not the kind of crab meat that I usually use in this dish. I would use the crab claw meat. But I had to get what I that the store had, y'all. See, this crab meat right here, I wasn't, I'm not too much of a fan of, but y'all, these stemmies and these extra EBT is floating out there, and it was scarce. I ain't mad. I sure ain't mad. If somebody got something to say, let me know. But yeah, anyway, that's all the store had at the time. So I had to work with what I had, you guys. But claw meat would be ideal for this dish. So we're just mixing around the rice and incorporating everything. And yes, we're extra fattening. We got to add in the butter. We have to. Either you add in some butter or you add in the grease. You add in some more grease. But it got to have that greasiness to it. I'm fat, I know. So you guys, I put this back in the oven for about 10 minutes, just long enough for the butter to melt and everything to just come together. And when I tell y'all, this rice is a blessing to your spirit and your soul. Look at it. This is the finished product. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. I just knew it was great. It was good. Everybody loved it. You can put in and use scallops, lobster, crawfish tails, whatever. Your possibilities are endless. Whatever you want to do, you can add it to this. And look at them ribs alongside of them fried ribs. Y'all better get into this. That's all I got for y'all today. Love y'all. Bye.